Welcome to the second episode of Axology. Today we are talking about bubbles. B is for bubble, and the way this came about was I was on my deck and Mila was playing with this bubble gun and she was just having so much fun with it. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if you just filled this room full of bubbles and just kind of had them raining on you and you could walk through it and it'd be like this environment. So the first thing that I had to do was 3D design a prototype, and that started with the fan. And I used a centrifugal fan, and so it sucks air in here and puts it out here. Then we just hook this up to some wires like we did in the last video. It spins, we run a certain amount of voltage to this, and we have our fan. And then I needed to create an enclosure, which you'll see over here. I'm 3D designing the enclosure that this fan can sit in, and then a bubble collector to rotate and go around. So the solution works really, really great. The only problem with it is it's 3D printed, and these prints altogether take probably 15 to 16 hours to print. If there's anything wrong with the design, I didn't want to have to wait, revise the design, reprint, and put up the contraption again. The bubbles also need to be up high, and so they can float down. I didn't want to build shelving in my garage. So Rob and I, Mila's dad, started looking at the bubble gun. So it uses a pump system to pump from the reservoir to the bubble collector, and then it uses this wiper to smooth out that solution. And I thought we could do something very similar. So we used a material called V-slot, and V-slot is like an industrial erector set. It comes in all sorts of different sizes. This is what it looks like, and you see the little V-slots on every outer side of the material. And so this material is just really nice because it's very sturdy, it's super light, and so it's really an industrial type of erector set. And so we use that to kind of make this wiper system that would wipe a car windshield washer blade over our bubble collector, and that's how we mimicked the gun. It worked okay. It was a bit of a mess. So it was a gravity-fed system, and it leaked a bunch of liquid all over, but it led me to the next idea. Now that we have a proof of concept built, I wanted to focus on the garage and making it more camera friendly. And so I started by making this Twinkle light ceiling. And so what I did was I took foam core and I tried to put some epoxy over it with fiberglass and make it very strong. And I thought that if I just did a real thin layer of foam core and I epoxied both sides, that I could get this thing to hang really easy. But as I did it, the fiberglass ended up a little too rough. I ended up making a wood frame, and then I covered that frame in felt because I wanted the lights to stand out really well against the bottom, and the fiberglass really kind of marked up the foam core that I had. And so then I took chalk and I marked out where I wanted the stars, and these LED fiber optics, you can buy them on Amazon. You can get them in different packs and different thicknesses for the different star widths. And what I ended up using was a pack of 460, and they come at 3 different widths. They were really awesome. This project turned out absolutely fantastic. You can see I'm just playing around here. I mean, it was really a pleasure building this thing. It was in the dark. This thing was so much fun to look at. So then we just hung it with hooks that we got from Home Depot. And, you know, this thing maybe ended up 40 pounds to 30 pounds. So now that we have the backdrops up and the ceiling tile in place, it ended up super cool to sit in. I don't know how well it'll actually look on camera, but the room has totally changed itself, and I actually hang out in there now all the time. So now we have to get back to the bubble machine. So the system runs off an air compressor, and we use this PEX PVC pipe with a number of different connectors and a number of different pressures to actually test this out. And what we ended up settling on was this piece right here. And then this is the pulley that we use, that we just wrap a string around, and it connects right into the V-slot using this T-nut. And so we're gonna take our V-slot material and put it together now. And so you'll see me doing that over here. And so what we made is a lifting system that will actually lift the reservoir up into the bubble collector, and then the bubble collectors are static. It actually worked pretty well. This was one of the first times we hooked it up, and I was so happy there was bubbles. Mila actually did not like when these bubbles would get caught on the collectors. She was scared for the bubbles.
A bubble! Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no! I better get it!
Halfway through quarter number 4. Gotta give you the big
Daddy bubble! Ah!
There's only the experience that brings you this close.
What are you doing?
Yum! That's so good!
And then I decided to kind of make a winter room since it was getting to be Christmas.
Bees! Yeah, a bubble. That's so good!
Merry Christmas! So what a great build that was. The Twinkle ceiling ended up way better than I thought it would. The bubbles and the kids in the video just had a blast. I know on video it didn't quite look like the room was full of bubbles, but it was. I think maybe if I had some different backdrops, but I'm still new to this and I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm not the best with lighting and getting things to look exactly how I want, but there was a couple shots in there that were just fantastic. So I can't say I'm disappointed. I did everything I thought, and Mila had a blast. It really came about all from her playing with this little gun by herself. I know in the beginning I had the gun, but it all started with her out there by herself doing the gun, and I was just hanging out with her. And so yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. You gonna be a rock climber? Good job.
You did it!
You did it.